my friends. My name is Emmy, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to my Facebook page. For first timers, I also go by the name Shakwe Tuya online. So I appreciate your support. I appreciate the opportunity that you're giving me so that I can speak to you today and we can sharpen and learn from one another. So in this broadcast, I want to talk to you about knocking your own doors, looking for your own opportunities, and taking charge of your dreams and taking responsibility of your own destiny. You know, the Bible talks about, in the book of Matthew 7:7, it says, "Ask and it will be given to you, seek and you will find, and then knock the door and it will be open to you." So you got to do something, right? I know this is an election year in Kenya, so some of you are waiting for those doors to be opened to you by somebody else. Maybe you have an uncle, or maybe you have a cousin, you have a dad who is running for office, and you're waiting so that you can be employed by the government because uncle is going to get this job and all this. I want to talk to you about taking your own responsibility and having fun trying out things, knocking your own doors and going beyond the fears that you might have. So perhaps you're going to say, oh my God, I don't understand my dream, or I don't understand anything about the dream that I have. You know, you don't have to understand everything. The more you know, actually, the more you're not going to do anything about it. You know, Oprah, when she was interviewed about her success, you know what she said? She said that had I known it was this difficult to start a network, I would not do it. I would not do it. So guess what? Information sometimes, too much information sometimes is not very good. So you don't have to understand everything to get started. You don't have to understand everything. And then she went ahead and said that 30 years ago, when she started the Oprah Winfrey Show, she said, I didn't have a publicist, I didn't have a makeup artist, I didn't even have an audience. So this is what she would do. She said, I would ask my staff to pretend that they are the audience during the fast shows. And she also said, we would go to the streets and give people donuts and drinks so that they can come in and be the audience. And guess what? 30 years later on, the Oprah Winfrey Show was the number one show. And it was so hard to get tickets to go to that show. But she had to start somewhere. She had to knock her own doors. She didn't understand everything. She had to start somewhere. So I want to encourage you to go ahead and start somewhere with your dreams. Go ahead and start somewhere. You don't have to understand everything. I also want to talk to you about a singer that I really admire. Her name is Darlene Zschech. I don't know if you've heard her story, but she wrote the song Shout to the Lord. Shout to the Lord, all the earth, let us sing, right? That song has been sung by over 30 million people. It's a very popular Christian song. But that's not how she started. Darlene was this shy girl singing in the choir, and then one day the choir leader didn't show up, and then the pastor asked her to go ahead and lead the choir. She was very shy, and then she just took on the opportunity. Talk about being in the she was in the right place at the right time. But when she wrote the song Shout to the Lord, she wasn't really so sure, like most of us when we are starting our dreams or when we are starting something. So this is what she said in one of the interviews. She said that let's see here, I was terribly shy and I felt a little embarrassed when I mentioned to Jeff Bullock, the music pastor, and that I thought I had a song. She was not even sure. She said, I thought I had a song. I thought I have a song. Imagine a very shy girl going to the pastor saying, I think I have a song. Not even sure about it. And then she said, my hands were sweaty. I've been there many times myself. I could hardly play the piano. I was so nervous. I kept starting and stopping. And let's see. It took 20 minutes to place. And then I kept apologizing, saying, I'm sorry, change anything you want. I know it's probably stupid. And then eventually, she said, I made them stand with their backs facing me while I played the song because I was too terrified, because I was too shy. And then, how many years later, this song is so popular, has been sung by 30 million people. So I want you to get started. Knock. You're not sure about it? You're nervous about your dream? So are many people. You don't know everything about your dream? So is everybody who's ever started something, you know? So be ready to work for everything that you've prayed for. Perhaps you're praying every day and saying, God, I want a breakthrough. God, open doors for me. God is asking you to go ahead and knock at those doors so that He can open them for you. You have to be willing to work so hard for everything that you are praying for. I'll also give you another story that I really like. Jim Carrey, that silly guy, actor. You know, she didn't even go to college, or she didn't even finish high school. She dropped school at 9th grade. That's like Form 1. And then this is what he said, that I would go 50 miles to do theater work for free. I would stand in front of the mirror and make faces for hours until my parents would freak out so that I could practice my craft. And then he didn't stop there. So when he started getting serious about his craft, he wrote a fake check for himself, $10 million. And he gave himself 10 years. Guess what? In 1995, Jim Carrey got paid $10 million to do one movie. And he just didn't start there. His story was just like you and me. His story was just like you and me. He was unsure. Sometimes he said, I would go to the theater and people would boo. People would heckle and say, crucify him. And then just one day, he decided he was gonna go for it. So I'm here to encourage you to actually knock doors for yourself and then be at the right place at the right time. Do not be afraid to dream and to execute your dream. Perhaps, you are saying, oh my God, I have a long ways to go. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I'm sure you don't. And you don't have to know whether you're gonna make it. You just need to believe. And you just need to get started. Pace yourself. Perhaps it's gonna be a long journey. So start by pacing yourself. Or maybe it's gonna be a sprint. So break it into manageable segments. So my question to you today is, what steps are you gonna take to awaken the dreams in you? Did you stop dreaming? I want you to awaken your dreams because God is waiting for you. And everybody has a calling. Everybody. You are somebody to someone, and that somebody is waiting on you. You are somebody else's answered prayer. God called you to do something. So what are you gonna do? What steps are you gonna take to awaken those dreams? So thank you so much for taking the time to listen in today. I hope you have a very wonderful week and keep knocking at those doors. Let's meet at the top. Thank you. Bye-bye.